Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello students, welcome to second PUC accountancy online classes. Students, in the previous class we have studied about the not for profit organizations. We have concluded the chapter. With that, part 1 comes to an end. There we have studied 5 chapters altogether: not for profit organizations, then partnership basic, that is fundamentals, then admission of a partner, retirement and death of a partner, and dissolution of a partnership firm. Then we have already covered in part 2 two chapters: issue of shares and issue and redemption of debentures. Correct? 2 chapters. In redemption of debentures, redemption part, I think one part is pending, one method is pending. Sinking fund method is not there in the syllabus. It is you need not have to study about that, but one method is there. But I will take up it later if it is required, because don't know how much syllabus will be reduced. So depending upon that, we will take decision. Maybe 1 or 2 hours I need if it is there. Otherwise, no need of wasting our time. So I will move on to straight away the next chapter: financial statements of a joint stock company. You know, friends, not for profit organizations, they are that is organized as trusts, or that is public service providers, isn't it? Or that is not engaged in trading activities. They are not engaged in any trading activities. That is the reason they are called not for profit organizations. The organizations which are engaged in the buying and selling of goods or manufacturing of goods, which are coming under the category of company under Companies Act 2013 as amended, there we have to study this chapter now, and we have to prepare financial statements, that is annual returns. We call it as balance sheet, isn't it? And statement of profit and loss, or we call it as income statement, as we prepare under, that is a sole trader, trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. Here we are not supposed to prepare trading and profit and loss account. We have to follow the vertical form of balance sheet. We will go on writing vertically, isn't it? First we will write equity and liabilities, then we will move on to the asset side, assets. So we will write like that. So let us study the format given under the Companies Act 2013 about the format of statement of profit and loss and balance sheet. Well, before that we have to know the meaning and definition of financial statements. Financial statements are the statements which provide the final results of, that is, operation of a business enterprise. Whatever we did during a particular period of 12 months, we will study about the results, that is operational efficiency of the management, isn't it? Then profit earned or losses suffered, and different, that is expenses made by us, the assets we have and liabilities we owe. All these will be reflected in the financial statements, because financial statements are to be submitted to the registrar of companies, to all the, that is shareholders, isn't it? So we have to disclose everything to all the stakeholders, like creditors or suppliers, isn't it? To customers, general public, to everyone, or to the banks and other financial institutions who provide finance to us. So for that reason, we have to prepare financial statements and we have to communicate the information to the stakeholders. Now let us move on to the meaning of financial statements. There is a definition given by John N. Meyer. John N. Meyer, M-Y-E-R, Meyer. Financial statements provide a summary of the accounts of business enterprise, the balance sheet reflecting assets, liabilities and capital as on certain day, and income statement showing the results of operations during certain period. So let us analyze this definition. Financial statements provide a summary of accounts of business enterprise. That means whatever transactions held during a particular year, now it is a financial year, this accounting year starts from 1st April and ends on 31st March of the next year. So it starts from 1st April and ends on 31st March. So for a certain period, business enterprise, it provides a summary of the accounts, that is brief, that is a summary, or whatever is done, it will be summarized and it will be disclosed. That is nothing but financial statement. So of what? Of business enterprise, not there is a service entity, isn't it? Or not for profit organization. No, it is business enterprise. The balance sheet reflecting assets, liabilities and capital. So this is one of the financial statements. If they ask you in examination, what are the final accounts of a joint stock company, then you have to write income statement or statement of profit and loss and balance sheet. There are other statements also like segment report, auditor's statement, cash flow statement, auditor's report, cash flow statement. These are also the part of financial statements. So here balance sheet reflecting assets, liabilities and capital. You have studied it. Liability plus capital is equal to assets, or assets is equal to liabilities plus capital, isn't it? So this is about the reflection of the items in the balance sheet as on certain day, that is 31st March of every year. We will prepare final accounts. Along with that, we will prepare income statement, or that is statement of profit and loss, showing the results of operations during certain period. So during certain period, we will assess, we will come to know the results of the financial statements, that is the profit or loss that is earned or suffered, and the financial position of the business by seeing the balance sheet. So that is called financial statements. Clear? Yes. Now let us move on to what are the types of financial statements. Types of financial statements. I already told you regarding this. One is income statement or statement of profit and loss. And second one is balance sheet. Remember, in addition to that, there are segment reports, auditor's report, then cash flow statement. These are also coming under the financial statements. But if they ask you particularly a question like name the financial statement of a joint stock company, or what are the financial statements of a joint stock company, you just write these two only, because some of the people, there is evaluators who come for evaluation, they may not teach accountancy. Then the problem comes, because they know everything, but still they are not teaching that subject. Means such information, suppose cash flow statement, they will get confused, and in key answer it might not have been given, that is cash flow statement, all these things, segment report or auditor's report are not given in the key answer. They give only these two. Then that person, what he will do is not aware of it, so he may put 0 for that. So make sure of it. Write statement of profit and loss and balance sheet. This has the other name, that is a income statement. Income statement, statement of profit and loss or income statement, and balance sheet or position statement, but don't use a position statement now. It is not there in your NCERT syllabus, so forget about that name. Just write that is a balance sheet. Clear? Yes. Then next one is nature of financial statements. Let us move on to the next part, nature of financial statements. Nature means how the financial statements are, how they are prepared, isn't it? What are the rules and regulations that are followed while preparing financial statements, isn't it? So that is called the nature. Let us analyze one by one. First one is they are prepared on the basis of recorded facts or information. That is, it is prepared from recorded information. What do you mean by recorded information? Very simple, historical data. Historical data. So whatever items that you show, whatever the value you show in the financial statements, that is past data or historical data which cannot be rectified now. Remember friends, suppose last year April we have purchased something at a cost of maybe 1 kg of chips we have purchased, isn't it? Last year we might have paid how much? Maybe 200 rupees per kg. This year cost has increased. So the chips per kg maybe 250 this year. Do you consider last year's 200 rupees is equal to this year's 200 rupees? No, because the money has lost its purchasing power. Correct. Time value of money is not considered here. We are concerned about only the figures, that is recorded facts and information in the books of accounts. So whatever we have paid during last year and whatever we have paid during current year, there is a lot of difference, though the amount is same. Like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we used to get masala dosa at rupees 10. Now, can you get masala dosa? The hotel restaurant owner may say that is 10 rupees. You won't get even a cup of tea also, isn't it? It costs now 15 rupees. Forget about masala dosa, you may say. So 30 rupees or 40 or 50 depending upon the type of hotel, maybe 150 or 500 rupees also, can't say, if you enter a star restaurant, isn't it? So my point here is recorded facts and information in money values, because we record only the monetary aspects of the transaction. So here last year's amount is not equal to current year's amount, same amount. The money will lose its purchasing power day by day as the inflation occurs. When the price level in the country increases, then what happens? The purchasing power of the money decreases. That is, value of money, real value of money decreases. That is what my point here is. So this is one of the nature of financial statements. They are prepared only on the basis of recorded facts and information. Second one is certain assumptions, that is accounting concepts are followed. Accounting concepts are followed. What are those concepts you have studied in first year at the beginning itself, when you have started learning accountancy? Then you have studied some theory part. In that there were concepts: money measurement concept, separate entity concept, wasn't it? Going concern concept, dual concept. These are different concepts you have studied. So in accounting we have to follow, we have to we have to assume some concepts like money measurement. All the transactions will be measured in terms of money value, not in terms of some other maybe counting or no, it is not like that. Only money measurement concept is accepted. Then concerns are going concern. We will start the business to run it for a longer period of time. We never assume that today we will start the business and tomorrow we will close. Whether we think in that way, or after 1 year we will stop the business, we will keep quiet. Isn't it? Not possible. Business is started to run it for a longer or unidentifiable period of time. So it is called going concern concept. So such concepts are followed in case of there is a accountancy or in that is financial statements. Third one is some postulates are made while preparing financial statements. Some postulates or assumptions are made in case of that is financial statements while preparing financial statements. Postulates or assumptions, isn't it? Like business will run for a longer period of time, or we will close the business, isn't it, after maybe 5 years after the venture is cleared. No, we never think of that. In that way we are not thinking. So postulates means assumptions. Materiality, that is a convention of materiality, full disclosure, isn't it, consistency. So these are different postulates we have to observe. That is materiality in the sense we record only those transactions which are material in character, which are measured in terms of money, and it is the qualitative that is information will not be recorded in the books of accounts. We never record qualitative information in the books of accounts. Only the major things or which are material in character, which are very important for the business and which can be identifiable in terms of money, those transactions are only recorded in the books of accounts. That is called postulates. We follow these postulates while preparing as financial statements. Then last one is personal judgments, opinions, estimations are done in the books of accounts or in financial statements. Personal judgments. I will give you best example. Some unrecorded assets will be there in the business, maybe, suppose. So how will you enter that is the amount of that unrecorded asset? It is not recorded anywhere. I have a table in my business. It is not recorded anywhere. What will you do? How will you calculate the value of that table? You will calculate by doing estimation. So estimations are required while preparing financial statements, isn't it? Sometimes the depreciation charge may not be correct. So you have to do estimation about the value of the asset. So that is estimation. Personal judgment. Sometimes you will decide on your own that it may be like this, so I will follow this. You have to follow a certain norm only. If it is not followed, what will happen is that you cannot do inter-period comparison and inter-firm comparison. One firm to another firm, you cannot conclude anything, because you have to follow the standard norms. Then only you can compare ABC Limited performance and PQR Limited performance. You can compare. If different norms are followed by these companies, then it is not possible for you to compare. So inter-period comparison and inter-firm comparison. Inter-period comparison in the sense the performance of our company during last year and current year cannot be compared if the norms are changed. So we follow a particular norm, that is called, we will take personal judgments by us, isn't it? Everything will be cleared and we will write in the books of accounts. So we have to do estimations while preparing that is financial statements. And here, while preparing financial statements, we should make sure that we will follow all the material, that is facts, will record everything, that is full disclosure concept we will follow. We will not leave any, that is quantitative or the information which can be measured in terms of money. They are not neglected, they are recorded, but the qualitative information like the honesty of a managing director, or honesty of a cashier, quality of a managing director, isn't it, makes a lot of difference sometimes. That will not be recorded in the books of accounts. Like Infosys, that is Narayan Murthy, isn't it, Mr. Narayan Murthy? Is it possible for you to replace the same quality person in his place? No, not possible. There will be different styles of leadership. Some leaders do beyond their, that is beyond the expectation of the management, isn't it? They will do marvelous change. They will bring marvelous change in the organization, but others may not be so efficient. And the way of handling the work or handling the tactics of handling the work may be totally different from one leader to the other. So we cannot compare one person with the other person. So personal judgments are also, that is made in the books of accounts in case of financial statements. So this is about the nature of financial statements. Now let us move on to the next part, that is objectives of financial statements. What are the objectives behind preparing financial statements? First one is, it provides information about economic resources and obligations. Provides information about economic resources and obligations of the business. That means how much we have and how much we owe to outsiders, isn't it? How much we have means assets, how much we owe means the capital and liabilities. Capital to the internal, that is party, and that is liability to external parties. So there are two types of, that is obligations. First one is internal obligation and external obligation. Internal in the sense to the owners and the owners, that is the shareholders, isn't it? And outsiders means the creditors, banks and financial institutions which provide financial that is help to the company. So that is first objective is to provide information to the information about the economic resources and obligations to the stakeholders, all the stakeholders, because banks banks, they need the information regarding how much resources they have, how much reserves they have, what is their balance sheet structure, what is their total net worth, isn't it? All this should be known to there's a provider of capital. So this is one of the obligations. Second one is to provide information about earning capacity, information about earning capacity of the business, earning capacity of the business. That is how much profit that is earned by the business during a particular period of time. That will be provided to all the stakeholders, isn't it? The next one is to provide information about cash flow, regarding cash flow. That is cash inflow and cash outflow. Both flow is required, because if there is more cash inflow, that shows the sound financial position. If there is more cash outflow than inflow, then there is a danger for the organization, because more the outflow, more will be the problem. Chances are there that income generated is less and expenses are more. So the management should be very careful regarding that is such situations. The next one is to judge the effectiveness of management by seeing the profit or loss of the business. The effectiveness of management can be judged. Effectiveness of management can be judged by, that is everyone, isn't it? So if there is profit, dividend declared is more, then everyone will be happy, the shareholders will be happy, and the effectiveness of management comes into picture. If it is properly managed, then problem will not occur in the business. Next one is to provide information about activities of business affecting the society. Activities of business affecting the society. What are the activities that affect the society? Like we are producing something, isn't it? Then the smoke or industrial waste that is emitted, it may damage the health and that is hygiene of the local people, or maybe all the animals that is domestic animals, isn't it? Like cow and buffalo or whatever it is. So here we should make sure that we have to provide information about the activities that affect the society, that should also be disclosed in the financial statements. Then last one is disclosing various accounting policies that are to be followed by the companies in the process of accounting. The accounting policies that are to be followed by all the companies, that will be disclosed in the financial statements. That is about the objectives of financial statements. I will take up the format of balance sheet of a company in the next class. Now take down assignment. Mention the financial statements of a joint stock company. Submit assignment on time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.